Emmerdale shock twist. John Sugden's secret confidant revealed, and it's someone very familiar. In a gripping turn of events that has sent shockwaves through the village of Emmerdale, the truth behind John Sugden's secret online confession has been unearthed, and the identity of the person he's been opening up to will leave fans reeling. As guilt over Nate Robinson's murder continues to haunt John, the murderer's desperate attempts to maintain control have grown increasingly unstable. But in tonight's episode, a new twist emerged that could bring John's carefully constructed lies crashing down. John's guilt spirals as Nate's body is discovered. It all began when the body of Nate Robinson was finally pulled from the lake, confirming the worst fears of his grieving wife, Tracy, and his devastated father, Kane Dingle. The emotional fallout of Nate's disappearance has rocked the Dingles, sending Kane into a silent fury and leaving Tracy desperate for answers she may never truly get. As the police intensified their investigation, the man responsible, John Sugden, panicked. Not content with simply burying his dark secret, he concocted an elaborate cover-up in an attempt to erase all suspicion. John targeted Owen Michael, a vulnerable figure in the village with a troubled past. Crafting a fake suicide note in Owen's name, John staged a scene that painted Owen as the killer. When Owen's body was later found, the forged note beside it seemingly proved his guilt in Nate's murder and allowed John to walk free, at least for now. But guilt is a powerful force. And as viewers witnessed tonight, John is unraveling fast. John pays Kane a visit, but it doesn't go as planned. Tonight's episode opened with an unexpected encounter between John and Kane Dingle. Arriving unannounced at the farm, John claimed he wanted to check in on Kane after hearing about Owen's apparent suicide and confession. Carrying a bereavement leaflet from a local clinic, John offered it to Kane as a peace gesture. But Kane, still fuming, suspicious, and raw with emotion, wasn't having any of it. He exploded with fury, tossing the leaflet aside and storming off. John stood awkwardly in the silence that followed, attempting to mask the discomfort bubbling beneath his surface. Moira tried to smooth things over and apologized on Kane's behalf, clearly sensing the tension in the air. John, ever the manipulator, attempted to play the role of the concerned friend. "How's Kane doing?" he asked, feigning sincerity. After Owen's note, claiming responsibility for everything? Moira's response, however, was less than comforting. "Doesn't mean it makes any sense," she said plainly. Her quiet words struck John hard, sending a flash of panic across his face. Was Moira suspicious? Or was John's guilty conscience twisting every word? Paddy's mysterious day off and the Woolpack distraction. Elsewhere in the village, at the ever-busy Woolpack, Marlon was trying to convince his old friend Paddy to spend the day with him. Marlon, clearly hoping for some much-needed bonding time, was surprised when Paddy declined his offer and appeared eager to get away. "I've just got stuff to do," Paddy muttered, brushing off the invitation before slipping out of the pub. Viewers were left to wonder, what was Paddy really up to? The answer came later in the episode, during a quietly powerful moment that revealed more about John's crumbling emotional state, and Paddy's own secret life. John cracks and turns to a helpline. Later that day, viewers saw John alone at home, pouring himself a large glass of whiskey and opening his laptop. Clearly distressed, with guilt gnawing away at him, he logged into a mental health support website, a well-being helpline offering anonymous chat services. For a man who thrives on control and manipulation, it was a rare glimpse into John's vulnerable side. On screen, he began typing. In a series of increasingly desperate messages, he admitted to feeling guilty and being unable to live with himself. His cryptic confessions suggested remorse, but stopped short of revealing any hard truths. When the helpline agent suggested they speak over the phone, John hesitated. He paused, and then declined, quickly logging out of the system and shutting his laptop with finality. To the viewer, it seemed like a simple scene of a troubled man trying to unburden himself in private. Until the camera revealed the helpline agent on the other end. Revealed, Paddy is the helpline volunteer. In a jaw-dropping final moment, the scene cut to a quiet office room, where the helpline chat was open on a screen. Sitting behind the desk, headset off and eyes heavy with concern, was none other than Paddy Kirk. Yes, Paddy. The same Paddy who claimed to have stuff to do. The same Paddy who's been quietly wrestling with feelings of self-worth and recent blows to his confidence, particularly after cruel remarks from his father, Bear. It turns out, Paddy has been volunteering for a local mental health support helpline, an act of quiet compassion and purpose during a difficult time in his own life. But now, unknowingly, Paddy may be in the middle of something far more dangerous than he signed up for. Could Paddy be the one to expose John's secret? The implications of this twist are staggering. John believes he's confessed to a stranger. But in reality, he's confessed, at least partially, to someone who knows him. Someone who is deeply embedded in the village. Someone with ties to both the Dingles and the wider Emmerdale community. Paddy may not yet realize the full weight of what John was admitting. But if he pieces together the clues, or if John logs in again and reveals more, Paddy could become the key to finally exposing the truth about Nate's murder. The question now is, will Paddy recognize John's guilt before it's too late? Paddy's own struggles. Doing good in the shadows. This reveal also brings a new layer of depth to Paddy's character. After struggling with depression, low self-esteem, and his complicated relationship with Bear, Paddy has been quietly rebuilding himself, choosing to serve others while keeping his own efforts hidden. He didn't tell Marlon about the helpline. He didn't make it public. This was something just for him, a way to help others while healing himself. It makes what comes next even more emotionally charged. If Paddy becomes aware of John's crimes, he'll be faced with a terrible dilemma. Does he betray the confidentiality of the helpline to protect his community? Or does he remain silent, risking further harm and shielding a killer? John's downward spiral. How long can he keep the lies up? Despite his best efforts to cover his tracks, it's clear John is falling apart. His anxiety is growing, his paranoia sharpening, and his guilt becoming unbearable. The forgery of Owen's suicide note was a bold move, but not a sustainable one. People are asking questions. Moira's comment about the note not making sense might be the first crack in the surface. Paddy's involvement could be the wedge that blows the whole thing open. Even Kane, who is acting cold and distant, may be more observant than he appears. And Tracy, still reeling from her husband's death, is unlikely to rest until she finds peace. Nate's death. A tragedy that's not over yet. Though Owen has been blamed for Nate's murder, there are still lingering doubts. Too many things don't add up. Too many emotions remain unresolved. And while John may believe he's in the clear, the truth has a way of clawing its way to the surface, especially in a village like Emmerdale, where secrets never stay buried. As more villagers process the loss, as more characters begin asking uncomfortable questions, John's world will only grow smaller. And with Paddy now unintentionally close to the truth, the countdown to John's exposure may already have begun. Fan reactions, shock, suspense, and sympathy. Across social media, fans were quick to react to the twist ending. Paddy is the helpline guy? I did not see that coming, one fan wrote on X. Another added, John is spiraling fast, and now he's talking to Paddy? This is going to explode. Others praised the show for its emotional depth, particularly in how it's portrayed Paddy's quiet return to purpose after months of emotional struggle. His decision to volunteer without fanfare resonated with many viewers who have similarly struggled with mental health. Paddy's journey is so quietly powerful, one user commented. Helping others while healing himself, it's beautiful writing. What happens next? Explosive consequences loom. As Emmerdale continues to build toward what promises to be a devastating climax to this storyline, several key questions remain. Will John confess more to the helpline, unknowingly giving Paddy more clues? Can Paddy remain anonymous and impartial when he realizes who he's talking to? Will Kane, Moira, or Tracy start piecing together the truth on their own? And most importantly, what happens if John realizes he's been talking to someone who knows him? The clock is ticking, and the truth, no matter how well hidden, is coming. Conclusion. The calm before the storm. Tonight's episode marked a turning point, not just in the murder mystery surrounding Nate Robinson, but in the emotional arcs of both John Sugden and Paddy Kirk. One is a man tormented by guilt, spiraling under the weight of his own deception. The other is a man trying to rebuild himself by helping others, unaware of the danger slowly circling in on him. In the world of Emmerdale, secrets rarely stay secret for long. And when this one finally explodes, it could destroy more than just reputations. It could tear families apart, shatter lives, and leave a permanent mark on the village. Until then, viewers will be watching every move.